creative ideas about people who want to be on the air but don't necessarily want to record. We've had some input, but it's mainly been from main stakeholders in the industry, from recording companies and from...
Nice.
Well, stand up, you can say.
I really believe that the important thing is standard. If you've got standard, everybody goes forward. The whole music industry will go forward if you've got quality music.
You are assuming that South African music is not good.
A lot of it is good, but a lot of it isn't good. But the most important thing, there's a lot of American trash being played. And I have got a product that for 9.5 years, nothing has been played. Not one of the cuts has been played once. I handed 70 albums to the radios 10 years ago.
Every time I look at that show, I am embarrassed at the way I behaved. And I had my say, but I had it aggressively. Had I spoken softly, with more passion and quietly, I would have definitely been more effective.
I don't know where I would be now. I don't know who I would be now.
My name is Michael Saltino.
Children of the world.
I'm a musician. I've struggled in the industry for many, many years.
He's been passionate about his music, and in fact, that's the thing that got him into trouble with the SABC.
They could have given him airtime, a bit of airtime, and I sense they never gave him, or not that I'm aware of.
His argument was very simple, that please, open doors. It is not for the, shall we say, the powers that be that should reject my finished product, my music. Why don't you play it? Why don't then the listeners decide whether they like my music or not?
I wrote a letter to the Reverend Hawambata of the SABC. And in my letter I said, the SABC is a public broadcaster. It is their mandate, it is their duty to do something for local musicians. He didn't even respond to my letter. So then I took the letter as is, and I put it as an advert in the Citizen newspaper.
I pray for you. That's why, darling, I pray for you.
In that letter, I said to the SABC, I will refuse to pay for my TV license, and you must now take me to court. And right at the bottom, I wrote, a precedent has been set whereby no one in South Africa needs to pay for their TV license anymore. You see, I thought that if they take me to court, then the whole problem of local musicians would come out in the open.
Can South African music sustain the airwaves? Are South African musicians marginalized by the media? That's our discussion tonight.
There is too much foreign culture or material on our screens or radio stations vis-a-vis our music. So that creates a problem.
I've traveled all over Africa. Now I'm known as the Princess of Africa.
Yeah,
but in my country, I'm not known, because when you open Radio Metro or whatever station, you just hear Michael Jackson. You ask children, do you know Maralo? Do you know Miriam Makeba? They say, who's that? And you say to them, do you know Snoop Doggy Dogg? They go, yeah, we know that. Because this is what our kids are being fed with. That's simply rubbish. We have to throw that away.
Okay.
I don't remember how I met Mzwaki, but Mzwaki invited me to the Felicia Mabusa show, Top Level.
I will take the world and give it love. That's the way it must be.
I was born 17th of August 1948 at the Princess Nursing Home, Hillbrow, Johannesburg, while my parents were still staying in Leslie. Today, Leslie's correct name is Leandra.
The girl from Durban town, a smile so sweet. That girl from Durban.
He's passionate about what he's doing. So, and it's good to know that obviously at the later stage in his life, he's still at it.
He's like a bull terrier. He just keeps coming back and he keeps coming, and he doesn't give up on it.
And he keeps like re-engineering the sound and making sure that it sounds good to him.
He's been passionate about music since, well, all his life, I think.
I have walked the land
My name's Grant Edmund. I'm a record producer, arranger, composer, session musician, live musician. Been in the industry for about 30 years now. Michael popped over to my studio. He came with this old Hofner 12-string guitar that was, you can see this thing had really worked, but had a beautiful tone, and it was just, you know, it just rang as he started playing the songs.
My name is Richard Hayward, and I've just sort of known him through the years, and his family and his children. All white people had to, or white boys had to go to the army once they got their matric. I met him at a camp, and he was, I just heard this person in the tent next door playing a guitar, and then I sort of stuck my head in to see who was playing the guitar, and that's how it started.
I'm Nadia Katz, Michael's daughter. Yeah. Only from the last couple of years we're trying to sustain a relationship between each other. I'm so grateful to have him in my life now, you know, because I could look at it in a negative aspect and go, well, you weren't around, but I'm actually seeing the positives, and the positives that he's bringing to my life now as an adult.
My name is Moses Nyawo. I came here to practice law. I served my articles of clerkship in Durban. I first met Michael in the, I think, late 80s or early 90s. I count him as one of my best friends.
My name's Costa. I've been in the music game for a very long time. Still at it, as you can see. Michael was introduced to me by a guy that was already working with, and he was in the process of emigrating, and he asked me if I could help him.
My name is Eric Msia. I'm the farm manager, Michael's farm. I grew up on the farm. I'm running now then the service station fully, and I'm running this shop also, and the farm. We've got cattle here, and I've got sheep, and that's I'm running.
But I don't know where I would be now. I don't.
My parents believed from the bottom of their hearts that the most important thing in their lives for their children was to have a proper religious upbringing. They sent me to Herber House, and we had to go to the synagogue to pray 3 times a day. Now, I rebelled against religion because of being away from home. And that's why music was so important in my life, that it filled a gap that I lacked. You know, the gap of a loving family around you.
He left home a little boy, only 10 years old. His mother stood there.
He married, to use the old South African expression, a coloured woman, Miriam, and then they had 2 children.
Each year, more than 1,000 non-white South Africans try to change their race and become officially white.
I did it for the children, you know, to get them into white schools.
When Miriam married Michael Katz, she converted to Judaism and applied to be reclassified white. The experience, she says, was humiliating and degrading. Miriam has also been stung by criticism from some friends and family, even her husband.
Why does she have to lower herself to change her color? If she was born a certain color, that's the way God made us.
I think it was an exceptionally painful, humiliating, degrading experience for him, for his wife, and their families, Michael's families, Miriam's family. Obviously the children were unconscious of it.
I knew Michael when I was still at school as the owner of the farm. I went to school. There was a school at the farm here, farm school. So we went to that school.
There are about 10 caravans over here. People who are homeless, who haven't got any place to stay, live here. And for them it's a livelihood. You know, it's not a nice livelihood, but at least they keep going. I gave them the opportunity to stay here is because when I came here, this place was bankrupt. There was nothing happening. And I believed that at that stage, if I gave life, I could get life.
The authorities wanted to remove us here on the farm. Those people who were staying here but not working here. You see, yeah, and then I think that is when most of us or our fathers grew up to love Michael, because he protected us. He never told anyone who must find a place they're going to chase you away, you see, but he did that alone. You see, that where are these people going to go to? Because this is their home. Some are born here.
I was very influenced by the songs that were, the records that were played on radio. And I used to go into the record shops and buy the 7 singles, and these were a great influence in my music career.
I got arms that long to hold you and keep you by.
The Beatles, From Me to You. Whoa, that was a wonderful song. I was mad about the Beatles. And they were also a group, when they came onto the scene, nobody ever thought they would be as successful as they turned out to be. I was composing my own songs. I went into Astral studios, and some of the best musicians in the country did the backtracks for me in those early days on my own songs. Trevor Rabin, Ronnie Robot. This record was accepted by Warner Brothers, Reprise Records, EMI, Polydor, and another Reprise. All these 4 records not played by the SABC. In 1979, when I met Eddie in the streets of Hillbrow, this is where he lived. Over a period of 6 years, I managed to get 22 original songs out of him, of which my contribution was about 20%. And thereafter, after I got those songs, I never ceased to persevere in the music industry. And that's when all the problems started.
South African music is making inroads internationally, what with Lucky Dube walking off with awards and Cucumber Zoo getting a recording contract in the States. But it would seem that some people would go to the most extreme positions to get their music recorded and heard.
Michael Saltino made waves recently when he blocked a sewage pipeline in order to gain media attention and, hopefully, airplay. But being South African does not guarantee one media support.
Once he tried to do his best to get his music aired, many people in the music outlets, let's put it that way, put some stumbling blocks in his way. That infuriated him.
When the SABC refused to put my stuff on air, I became very, very frustrated and I didn't know what to do. So eventually I thought of a wonderful idea to attract publicity. Because I hadn't been paid out by the government for a sewage pipe running through the farm, we went ahead and we blocked the sewers here on the farm. It was a very difficult thing to do. I notified the authorities, the local police, the municipality lawyer that we were going to do it, and they didn't take me seriously. They thought that could never happen.
Walk down your street, people say hello, say a prayer. Thank you, Lord, 'cause you know.
One of the very big influencing factors of my life was when I was in grade 1. An inspector from Pretoria came into the classroom and he had a terribly aggressive manner. And I was just a child, grade 1. And he came up to me and he asked me a question. And I didn't like his attitude, the way he asked me that question. So I put my head down on the table like this. And he got very angry. He asked me the same question again. And I refused to lift my head. And he came up to me, grabbed my ear, pulled my head up and gave me a clout. And that had an effect on my life because I realized at that age, everybody's quiet. Nobody's prepared to say anything about what he did.
He learned to fight back, you see, because I believe some battles he won by just scaring a person away, you see. Not that he was serious, he can harm or do anything, because he's never harmed anyone in his life.
When the judge passed judgment in our favor, when we went out of that building, Palace of Justice in Pretoria, he literally cried. For the first time, I understood how seriously Michael, or how passionate he was with getting his music heard.
At least I made everybody aware of the problem. And I do believe that the SABC had started at that time and are still today opening doors for other musicians.
What you're about to see has never been shown on television before. It doesn't contain any violence, sex, or strong language, yet some people regard it as shocking. It's a music video. The artist is Michael Saltino. Now, Michael has been trying for 10 years to get the SABC to air his music. The SABC argues that it's just not good enough. He says that all he wants is a chance. Well, here it is, an exclusive viewing of Michael Saltino singing Flying Away.
In the morning, girl, you'll miss me.
No, Jeremy, man, please, take it off.
Okay.
The bloody thing is ridiculous. My Scotty sings better than that.
Oh. Never had my SABC license before, but I think I'm going to go and buy one.
Michael, really find another job. I really do. And if I was the SABC, I would have also left it hanging.
Thinking of you.
Now, a lot of people have actually said that they prefer the unplugged version.
When Michael Saltino started backing up the sewage system in Leandra, that's because the SABC refused to play his music on air. We spoke to him about backing up the sewage system and then decided to make a democratic decision. We said we'd play one of his tracks every afternoon for a week and throw it up into our listeners. See what they think, see if they wanted to listen to his music.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Please, he's just too terrible. Does he actually realize that he has no talent?
Well,
I hope he's listening.
Okay, Dina, thank you. You've made your
Bye.
point. Thank you, love.
I think what he did was really cool. I think his music still sucks and I won't give him a record deal, but I really like his spirit a lot.
You can't please all of the people all of the time. What you've got to try and do is please most of the people most of the time. It's tough. You're always going to upset somebody.
There was articles in the Star where they called my music schmaltzy, and then there was an article in the Sunday Times where I was nominated for the Mampara of the Week, but the Peter Ndoro talk show went on for a long, long time. It was very interesting.
Hello, Michael.
Yes.
You're not going to win a Grammy with us, though, are you?
Aren't I?
Let's just get a few callers and their initial impressions. Okay. Cynthia.
Hello, Peter.
Yes, what are your thoughts?
I'm an elderly lady, very much in the 70s. I think the band is good, but is he out of tune?
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh, out of tune.
Yes, Michael, why do you emphasize girl?
It was something that we used to ridicule. We never thought he was good. We never supported him. We don't really,
I really can't comment on the, how shall we say, the quality of his voice or the quality of his guitar playing. Other than that, I just enjoyed it.
He should have gone for lessons. He should have figured out what his niche was and where his voice or what, his talent lies.
He was a little bit too scared to experiment with certain things in the songs. I'd say, no, man, we'll do a key change here and maybe double the chorus there. And Michael was just so used to sitting and playing those songs on his own.
Obviously, music is out there. So whatever you bring out there's obviously got to be someone that's going to enjoy it.
And you know, so you'll get critics that will run his music down. You'll get critics that will laugh him off and say that he's a man that just, you know, can he just not get it in his head that nobody wants to hear his stuff, which is actually quite untrue.
Hello, is that Suzanne?
Yes.
Yes, Suzanne.
From Northgate.
Yes.
And I thought it was brilliant.
Wow.
I loved it.
So you can't understand.
I thought it was lovely. It's away from the norm, from all this rubbish we listen to.
Thank you very much. You've hit the nail on the head.
I know.
It's absolutely brilliant. It actually takes me back to the early 60s where you do your thing and people enjoy it.
Thank you very much for the compliment.
And I guess, you know, different things will appeal to different people, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
Alan?
yeah.
So
I think it's absolutely marvellous.
What do you think about the criticism that people are putting through that he's singing out of tune? Is that totally unfounded?
Of course it's unfounded. Yeah, they're morons, you know.
I'm phoning in to say that I think that was brilliant.
Yeah?
I really enjoyed it, and I wish him all the luck.
You know, listening to yourself as an artist, as a singer, you know, you always say, oh, I could have sung it better, I could have sung it better, I could have sung it better. So over the years, you feel within yourself that you're comparing yourself, because once you listen to what you sang when you were in 1980, and you thought, okay, well, I could have done this, I could have done this, you sing it, and the more practice, the better you get.
I hadn't had enough experience performing live to reach the optimum level of my voice.
You know, Michael said to me, he said, why didn't you tell me my voice was bad? I said, no, it wasn't bad, Michael. It was, I got the best out of you. I'm a producer, and I just knew that that was the best I was going to get out of you at that stage. And I honestly did think that. And I was obviously wrong, because listening to the new vocal tracks on the album, I mean, Costa's done an amazing job in guiding, and Michael's now starting to do harmonies and stuff, and I think his confidence has come back now. He was always a very confident guy, but now he's even more confident as an artist.
November the 26th, 2007, the armed robbery where they shot at me 3 times from point blank range. He first pointed the gun at me, took a shot, it clicked, then he cocked the gun to have another shot. When he took the second shot, as he took the second shot, I managed, before I fell down, already having 2 bullets in me, I hit the gun out of his hand, and the 3rd bullet went through the fridge, just over there. Your whole outlook in life changes. Things that I took for granted prior to that, you don't take for granted anymore. I'm living on borrowed time. God must have a purpose for me. To have survived 3 bullets from point blank range. I couldn't go further down. I was rock bottom. And thank God, because of my positive attitude in life, I managed to pick myself up slowly and eventually carry on with my dream. And at the age of 64, my voice had reached its optimum.
Walk out the door, kisses on your lips, and a smile upon your face, 'cause you know you have another day to live. Yes, you know you have another chance to love.